Hey man, how's it going?
Howdy doody, not too bad. It's a nice day. Getting on the colder side now. We're definitely into autumn.
Yep, absolutely. Summer is behind us. We're now just getting this nice weather. Mind you, I think even for both of us, I think we prefer this kind of weather, right? Like it's nicer to
Oh,
have cooler weather. So
maybe 2 degrees warmer. But like if you're out in the sun, it's fine. But I
yeah,
was in the garage working, and
sure. The
I was in
shade
shorts
is
and t-shirts, and it was just a
gets a bit
little on the
chilly.
cool
Yeah,
side. Like not
for
uncomfortable,
sure.
but just like, man, 1 degree warmer, one or two would be perfect.
Would have been
But
perfect.
but that's me.
Yeah,
But whenever I was out in the sun, it's like, yeah, this is right. A little too
yep,
hot actually in the sun. So it was almost that
absolutely,
perfect temperature for me.
for sure. Yeah, welcome back everybody to Bite My Shiny Metal Cast, our spoiler review of Cuteness Overlord. And yeah, I think this is a fine episode. Very fine
I liked
episode.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
It,
No
it does
no
does
real complaints
send
from
it
me.
a little bit from me. Like it just,
Mhm.
I think the theme of the season is not solid endings. This one was
Right.
probably the most solid ending, but it still kind of
This
left it
yeah.
up in the air. There wasn't 100% a conclusion with what to do with the bean bags, beanie babies,
Well,
whatever they're called.
I think they just kind of got rid of them, right? They just kind of did what everybody
Yeah,
did
I
with
mean,
their Beanie Babies.
it's
Just threw them away. But yeah,
being as a person who likes to collect things, like we're both
me
very big
too. Yeah,
fans of
yeah,
Pokemon, so we
of
like the
course.
catch 'em all kind of thing. And
Mhm.
were you a big actually Beanie Baby fan back in the day?
When I was a kid, I did collect them, but not as much as like family members
How
might.
aggressive were you at collecting them?
No,
Like, yeah,
not at all, not at all.
yeah, but like you
Like
had more than 5 to 10 kind of thing.
um, I did, but you know what? I used to collect them to actually to do what Sally does with them. Like I would play with them. I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
collecting them for like
same here, same here. Like,
a
what
future
was that? I was
inheritance, so to
probably what,
speak.
like
Yeah.
96, 90 to
When those were
2000.
coming, yeah, we'll say late
Yeah,
90s.
we would have been just a little over
Yeah,
5, but definitely under 10.
right. Yeah, like these were very very popular. You couldn't go to a store without seeing them
Yeah.
somewhere, and there was
So
always like every year there was like a new one of those new bears that was
yes,
like the
yes,
2019 or whatever year it was, like
yeah,
2002 bear or
1996
something.
bear, 1997
Yeah.
bear.
So there
I'm
was
pretty
something
sure I
like
got
that. Yeah.
oh,
I maybe got a
birthstone,
graduation bear
my
of some
birthstone
sort.
one.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
they had those
yeah.
too. Yeah, man,
Like
it was crazy. Yeah.
all the things.
Yeah, so
Um,
this
I,
baby, beanbag, whatever these are, what were they called in the show in this
oh,
episode?
something. What were they called? I
Gotta
can't even
collect them
remember.
all or whatever. Collect them all.
I,
Such a
but
Pokemon
basically,
ripoff, by the way.
yeah, yeah, I know. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah,
Um, I feel like this was Christian or Kirsten Gore.
Kristen Gore.
Yes, a
His
daughter of
his
Al
daughter,
Gore.
right? Yeah, yeah.
Um, I feel like this is right up her alley because she was probably in her early 20s when Beanie Babies came out, and that's when girls are still kind of into, oh, look at how many stuffies I
Oh,
have
like
in
the
my
new
bed,
stuff.
right?
Oh, sure.
So I
Yeah, the
feel like
cute
she
stuff.
really did like this
Right.
stuff, right? Which, hey, a writer that has experience in this, at least from what I'm getting from it, wow, not too bad writing, kind
Yeah.
of thing, right?
Actually, this is actually kind of nice. Actually, you know what? Let me use that as a segue, and we'll
Yeah.
go right. I'll go into my basic synopsis here. So very very quick synopsis of this episode. Again, reminder that it's a spoiler one, but basically, yeah, we're actually introduced kind of not really, but into the episode with the beginning with Kif and Amy and their daughter Mandy is
Their
jumping in the
apartment.
bed, like waking up in their apartment, and basically just the life and times of Kif and Amy,
First
and
time we've seen Kif in a
with their
very
kids.
long time, by the way. And
That's
there's been a
true.
lot of
Yeah,
Amy
you
stuff
mentioned
that
like
there
where's
should have been
Kif? Yeah.
Kif. Yeah, where's Kif? Where's Kif?
Now we see, and we actually get confirmation that he does go away for like a month at a time, hence why
Yes.
he's not showing up as much,
Yeah,
right? So make mention of this.
there's that little band-aid that they can do. Oh yeah, he's gone all the time. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
whatever.
So we have Amy and Kif and their kids, and so Amy has brought her kids to work one day, or is talking with the Planet Express crew, and she says like, "Oh, I don't understand why do they act the way that they do? Because like we give them everything they want, and they do this. Like why do they act so spoiled?" But in any
Spoiled.
case,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Leela.
yeah.
Yeah, Leela actually recommends like, okay, why don't you bring them to where I came from, being the orphanarium? So we actually get to go back to the orphanarium. All three of the kids, well, I guess the two older ones, not the baby, obviously. The baby doesn't really
Newt.
do much, but Newt doesn't do much. But I'm forgetting what's his name. What's the brother's name? Axel. Axel. So
Axel, yes,
Axel
Axel.
and Mandy are kind of doing some stuff to help out the orphanarium and all this kind of stuff. And it turns out Mandy actually kind of likes it. She likes being in that area, and she makes a friend with Sally, who we get to see, the
Um,
three-eared girl.
Here's
Yeah.
my biggest problem with the entire episode. Weren't all the kids adopted by the TV's producer Dividone to be also child labor workers way back when with the
Well,
Yolila
also,
Gabba Gabba?
right, and also weren't they? Wasn't the orphanarium turned into Bender B. Rodriguez Orphanarium, no longer Cookie
Exactly. Yes.
View?
Yes.
Yeah,
For a show that you and I praise for continuity,
yeah.
and
There's some
which
things
yes,
forgotten.
they even screwed up back in the original run and also with
Mhm.
the thing, but they seem to just knock it aside and say, no, we know better for
They
the
seem to
current
have forgotten the
stuff.
Fox run. Like they remember the storylines of the Fox run, but they don't remember
Yes,
the
yes.
consequences of it,
They
which is
want to use
strange.
those as stepping stones to say, hey, look,
Yeah,
we're better than these people. But
exactly,
we don't really care what they said for. But yeah, there's something to do with orphans.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Sorry, I just
It's very strange.
I think that's my first biggest like
Yeah.
negative for this one.
Yeah, we'll get into it more afterwards. But yeah, as we go on, so you have yeah, all of them are still there and they're helping out the orphanarium. And then of course, Mandy and Sandy or not Sandy, sorry, Sally are having like good time. They're playing with dolls and they're having a good time with as kids do. And Amy is actually kind of disgusted by how dirty the orphanarium is. So she tries to get Mandy and them to leave. And Mandy actually, after they leave, she's actually kind of sad that they left because she misses Sally and the dolls and everything. So Amy recommends to buy her, whatever she wants. So she wants to buy one of these dolls. Turns out it's called like the fun bags or bean bag, the bean bags we were talking about, the beanie bag knockoffs basically. And there's like 200 different types. And so Amy kind of gets into this idea of collecting them because they're hard to come by. And so she spends her whole time trying to collect these things. And meanwhile, she drops off her kids at the orphanarium once or twice just so she can leave and go and find the more rarer bean bags. Any case, meanwhile, it
Well,
turns
that was a big
out
thing.
that
Sorry, by the way. Sorry to cut you off.
yeah,
That was a
yeah,
huge thing. I remember there was this Beanie Baby bat. There was
yeah,
there
yeah,
was two
yeah.
bats. There was like a black bat and a brown bat. I
Brown
don't
bat,
particularly remember which one was the more rare one, but I remember there was people that are like, "Hey, do you have it?" It's like, we have a bat. Oh,
I
which one is it? Which one is it?
I'm
Is it this one?
guessing it was I'm guessing it was the black one because I had the brown one. So it's probably
You
not
know
the
what?
brown
It'd be
one.
hilarious if it was
That's true.
the one that you had and that
Yeah,
was the rare one. You're like, let's see if
that'd
it's
be funny.
have it, and it goes for
Yeah.
like $5
So
rather than 4.
for sure. So any case, meanwhile, with all this happening, Kif is called into work, and he and Zap Brannigan are told that there's been some weird things going on in some dupe bases elsewhere, and it turns out that these dupe bases are kind of being strangled to death, but they don't know who the culprit is. But they are surrounded by all these bean bags. So back on Earth, Amy kind of has like a freak out because she realizes that Sally actually has the rarest beanbag in her possession. So Amy kind of tricks her into giving it to her. So therefore she has the full 200 beanbag collection, and she feels absolutely horrible about herself. So she tries to
Yep.
give it back. But then it turns out, wouldn't you know it, that these fun bag things are actually, as the professor later finds out, they're actually creatures that have just evolved to be so cute that no one wants to hurt them. And this is how they can hurt each other and kill each other. It's actually it's a remarkable idea, actually. It's actually quite good. And so they have been pretending to be these toys for kids, and they unknowingly strangle families. So in the end, they find the one that Sally had, the cutest one and the rarest one, turns out to be the leader. And Sally and Mandy hug together to squeeze its life, and then it basically dies. And at the end, all of them get rid of everything by
Well,
throwing
hold
the
up.
trash and everything. That's basically how it ends.
Yeah, well, the whole thing was that the most rare one was the
Squid.
yeah, well, just the rarest one of them all, doesn't matter who it was the leader, and the squid
right.
or whatever, the cuttlefish was the leader because it was the rarest one. But then when it got killed and exploded beans everywhere, the
It made
beans
a bunch more, but
yeah
these
made a whole
things
bunch more copies.
but they have they had no intelligence or whatever.
Yes,
So there's
yeah,
still like
because being
yeah,
just one of them, there's now thousands of them, hence it not being
the rare one.
a rare one anymore.
Yeah,
Which
it's not
when we think about it, when they all get carted off to the garbage dump and get disposed of, wouldn't that mean that they kill or destroy all of one, but one, maybe a few certain ones? So then those, we'll say like the purple line would now be the rarest, so therefore it would become the most.
Yeah. Well, I see what you mean, but it's not exactly. I don't think that's how it worked. I think it was basically
That's how I took
this. Okay, so this cuttlefish one was like the rare one because it was like the hive mind one, but it still had its own like spores and everything inside. But then once it died, its spores no longer have its ability to control the other ones. So even if you killed a bunch of them and only had one left, it doesn't have that brainwave in order to control the rest of them.
You
That's
don't
how
know.
I got it. That's why they threw them away.
Well, I took it as like as long as it's not.
I don't think that's what happened.
Rare. It's not intelligent.
No, it's nothing to do with rareness. It's a biological thing. It has nothing to do with the rareness. The rareness is what the humans thought it was, and that's why they put it.
I'm sticking with my guns. That like
once
there's like one left, that one becomes.
You're wrong. Otherwise, they would. Well, unless they wanted to continue with it. But in any case, it doesn't matter.
No,
Point is,
wrong.
that's how they throw it away. Now, yeah. So you and I agree. This episode's actually pretty solid. I
would say it's the most average one that we've had for a long time.
I would agree.
And
this is a little bit better than Lassie Comes Home. A little bit better. Or sorry,
looking at what people have said on the Reddit here, a lot of them are just kind of like. I think my favorite one is like, yep, it's an episode. That one described it perfectly for me. I did like this one. It had good jokes and stuff like in it and little things. I gotta say, I think my MVP for the entire season so far is Tress MacNeille, because when she came back as Mom in this one, it felt a little more in place than the last time we saw Mom. She was at an auction, which is how I think we first met Mom with Fry buying the anchovies, right?
Yeah,
she has her own little paddle board in her thing with her own number.
Paddle. She's like, I own my own number. Yeah, that was really good, actually. Yeah, no, I agree. And, I think Mom was quite a much better choice in this one as well. Same with Zach Brannigan, actually.
What's the oldest son of Mom's son's name?
Walt.
Yeah, I love his line there. You only live once, mother, although it's been a very long
life. Yeah. That's right. That was really good.
I do like that one.
Yeah.
Zach Brannigan was great.
Zach Brannigan's.
I've been to 2 out of those 3 zones. With the,
I think that would have been
Kif,
so.
Getting
the
map suit for Amy too.
Yes. Well, I was gonna say that was something that was shown in the trailer. I kind of wish they hadn't, because that was actually one of the funnier jokes of that episode episode as well. But yes, overall, I think my positive is that this episode is very solid. The storyline is very good. It follows through. I don't really think it has that much of an opening in the ending. I think it's fine. They throw all this stuff away.
I'm putting a little more spin on it than what they did.
Sure,
I will
I'm pretty sure
that.
There's no rarity issue with it, but sure. Okay, and then
I still think that the ending wasn't as strong as it's the strongest one we've had in a while.
Yep.
But it was not as it just seems to be the theme for this season. There's not a very strong ending, and I can understand writing an ending is hard and stuff like that. But this is the best one, even though it's not that good of an ending. But like they could all throw them all in the fire or something like that. It's just like Professor, I know a way to defeat them, fire or something, just something stupid like that.
Set them on fire or whatever.
And boom, it would have been great.
Sure, and that could have been the case too, right? That's what we could have changed. My only negative really of this is, so there's two negatives, I guess, is that it's not as funny, but that's more so on me. Other people could have found it funny.
Oh yeah,
there are some jokes that are pretty good. Yeah, exactly. Humor's subjective. My only real thing is like the continuity thing. So Cookieville should have been Bender B. Rodriguez Orphanarium. I don't know why it wasn't. But then also in relation to that, the kids, I think they call him what do they call him? Like Mr. Metal Pants or something? Like they don't even call him Daddy Bender anymore. They don't even call him by his name. Like it's like as if they forgot him. And I know it's been
exactly continuity,
quote unquote 23 years. Like these kids are still the same kids, but yeah, it's a very strange circumstance for it. But anyway, those are my only real negatives of this. It's actually not that bad. It's very, very nitpicky.
It was very nice to see the orphans again, but yes, I think you and I both say that like
good.
They should be adopted and working for a TV show producer owned. I can't remember what his name is, but that guy.
Yeah, that
and
guy.
Also like. They've also said that, oh, hey, he's been stuck in the future for 20 some years. They even mentioned that last season kind of thing.
Yeah.
The kids should be grown up at this point.
Years? Yeah.
And they should be new orphans. Again, you and I both love the continuity, but when you add stuff like that, like, oh God, I've been in the future for 20 some years. Wow.
Yeah.
And no one ages or anything. It kind of brings up some weirdness to it.
I suppose it's also like, so when Fry says that, this is after everybody was unfrozen from time, right? So time passed, but they didn't age during that time, which is a very strange thing as well.
No one aged.
So even though like, oh, it's been 23 years, like I don't know how you would know that if nothing changed in that time, but whatever the case, 23 years passed. Maybe like like a recorded time was still going, so they're able to be like, oh, it's been 23 years, but I just checked like 10 minutes ago and it was like only like 2012 or whatever, or 3012, but it doesn't matter. Point is, yes, these are orphans like this, but they still refer to Bender as they don't remember who Bender is, which is very strange to me.
Yes,
But
And they love. I remember this, a talking toy. That's a funny thing. They've never
Daddy's
seen.
a giant toy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know.
Well, they've seen Tiny Tim, right? When they were at.
Yeah, Tiny Tim shows up every so often at the orphanarium. Yeah.
No. I don't think he's ever been there. But what was the episode? Bender should not be on TV. What are the kids' names again? Professors and Dwight. Dwight Schrute and
so Dwight and Hubert.
Dwight Conrad and Hubert Farnsworth, right? They hung out with Tiny Tim. They had a birthday party.
Right,
That's where the orphans showed up, and that was the whole celebrating Bender on TV thing. So there's been multiple things where they should know who the hell Bender is,
who any of these people are. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And also Leela, like we love Leela. They even had a song, "We Love Leela," because she wrote them an awesome.
Wasn't Leela
thing.
almost going to adopt one of them? Like they should
the
know
one
who she is.
with the ear.
If anything,
one of my favorite lines from Sally.
They should hold a bit of resentment towards this group of people because they're like, why do they keep showing up here? They never adopt us. But yes, so overall, I think this episode's actually quite good. It's worth a watch, but it's
6 out of 10.
It's a little forgettable. I'd say about 6.5. I would say is probably your best bet for it.
All right. Now to get serious, Anthony. Do you think what we had when we did our predictions was better than what this was?
Absolutely, it was. Absolutely.
Our predictions were better?
Absolutely. With Peter Cullen playing the evil Nibblonian.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, yeah. We had predicted that Nibbler, because his species is known for being one of the cutest things out there. Now second cutest.
If I may also just interrupt you for a second, I did say in that prediction the Amy thing, which you called me up like, oh, you've been picking Amy a lot for these, but it turns out Amy's actually quite popular in the season, so it's not like weird. But in any case, I had thought Amy, but then you brought up Nibbler, and I was like, I'm totally in. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
And I love the Peter Cullen as like the bad version of Nibbler because that's the voice of Megatron, and Frank Welker is the voice of
Megatron.
Optimus.
No.
Oh, other way around. Other way around.
You're right.
My bad. Peter Cullen is Optimus Prime, and Frank Welker is Megatron. Thank you. You said it like 6 times. I'm like,
And Nibbler, of course, is played by Frank Welker, who is this character, right? So he's the good guy. And then maybe Peter Cullen could have shown up. Right. Yes.
Played an antagonist.
Yes.
Which would have been great. I think that would have been hilarious. That would have been hilarious. And of course, having them fight in like robots that would change shapes would have been great. I think that would have been great. And of course, the whole episode would have to be like Nibbler, what's going on? I'm just getting up from my big nap, or something like that. It's like Nibblonians have been taking over Earth since you've been asleep. Oh no! And then they could have developed from there.
Like a splinter cell of Nibblonians that come in and is run by this Nibblonian who's played by Peter Cullen and all that. Yeah. I was so happy. I knew that was not going to be the episode because like that's way too good. That's way too.
It's way too awesome. Yeah.
But then with that person, which I believe this is the second last episode that this man mentioned. This person mentioned, right? The predictions guy, who we now know has like inside information because he's been right the whole time.
They must have been a snitch or a friend or someone.
Yeah. So even he's the one, or she's the one, whatever. Yeah. This person is the one who said that it was going to be about fun bags and finding these things or whatever, right? Yeah. And I remember thinking like, oh, that kind of takes like, oh, that's too bad and whatever, but maybe it'd be funny. And you know what? It's okay. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. So that's worth noting, I think.
The person put impossibly cute beanbags. That was the only those three words. Which guess what? That was about the episode.
That was exactly it. Like impossibly cute, right? Because they even talk about it in the episode, right?
Yeah. So far everything that they put has been what the episodes are about. This was like I think maybe even
months ago.
Months ago.
At least before when you and I did our predictions one, which was at least a few months before the episode started airing, right? So it must have been. And also like I think the last one he mentions is the Futurama Mystery Library, right? Which of course is just as anthology episode, but we already knew that. So it doesn't matter. And then they don't say anything for otherwise, which kudos to them because
it's written as a series finale about Fry and Leela, which let's face it, I think most of us
we all knew that with otherwise, but we'll see what happens with that one. But the next one, of course, is going to be Mystery Library, so that'll be fun. That'll be a nice fun anthology one. We'll see what happens in it. But yeah, overall, I think Cuteness Overlord, not as good as the Temp.
Temp I think is so far the best.
Temp is still funnier. This one is solid story. Nothing to really complain about in terms of anything big except for little canon issues, but that's more nitpicking. Overall, episode is worth a watch. It's not that forgettable. It's not as forgettable as like Beauty and the Bug, for example. So
what was that one about again?
Exactly.
No, I still like that one compared to other ones, but you are right though.
Yeah. So
It's a very
overall,
forgettable season, unfortunately, and I just I don't know.
but you know what? When we do, I feel like you and I will talk about all these episodes in unison when all of them are done, and we can make
Yeah.
a final call about how the season did versus the first part of the Hulu revival.
Oof. We're not going to be
But
nice, are we?
well, I think we might. I think this season, or this part of the season, or this season, however you want to call it, I think this one so far has been a lot better than the previous part. So, any case, we'll get to that when we get to that and all that. So, thanks, Mitchell, for joining. And yeah, we'll see everybody next time for the Futurama Mystery Library, episode 9.
Yep.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.